Alright, 3.14, Bleed, Lacerate, Gladiator. Got nerfed a little bit due to the changes to Elder Bleed Axes and Flesh and Stone, but it's still good. I'm going to use it as a league starter and then probably transition out of it after a week or so. First thing you want to do, path over to Resolute Technique. The only stop we make along the way is for Defiance to get some extra damage and block chance. For first lab, we go Blood in the Eyes. Alright, next we're taking all the damage we can find right around Resolute Technique, which includes all the axe stuff, a couple of the shield things, a little bit of defense, and we're going to try out the new Vanquisher feat. Go Gratuitous Violence for the bleed explosions. It's going to make your leveling for the last few acts very smooth. Now we're going to start picking up some more defenses. We're going to get Diamond Skin, we're going to get Solidity, we're going to get Soul of Steel, a little bit of extra life, Golem's Blood, and Dirty Techniques. It costs 5 points to get to it, but that's okay. We'll spend that 5 points now, and then later we'll refund it, put it in somewhere else, and we'll anoint Dirty Techniques instead. You're actually going to go Arena Challenger for your third lab. It's going to give you a ton of bonus attack speed and movement speed, which is going to be really, really helpful when you're getting into maps. After you get Uber Lab done, then you can spec out of Arena Challenger and go Pain Forged into Versatile Combatants for that block. To round off our tree, you're going to go over to Command of Steel for that extra damage, up to Golem's Blood, and get whatever jewels sockets around the tree that you can. Grab the Dexterity and Intelligence nodes if you feel like it or if you need it. And then we've got our endgame tree with all the jewels. Unnatural Instinct's super good because it's going to give you a bunch of resistances and block chance if you put it right here. You got Glorious Vanity for Divine Flesh. I could take it or leave it, but some people really like it, so I thought I'd toss it in there. You want a Corrupting Blood Jewel so you don't die to Corrupting Blood one-shots. Red Nightmare in this spot so that you get a bunch of extra block chance. It's going to bring us to the cap. And of course, our cluster jewels. We're looking for Rend and Wound Aggravation on our medium clusters, and we're looking for Wound Aggravation and pretty much anything else on our large clusters. Other regular jewels without Corrupting Blood on them, we want Damage with Bleeding and Maximum Life. If you're missing resistances or attributes to put on your gear or level up your gems, you can find them there too. Alright, our main skills Lacerate is going to be linked to melee physical damage, brutality, and fortify. When you have a 5 link, grab Chance to Bleed. When you have a 6 link, grab Deadly Ailments. For our defense, we want Vol Molten Shell linked to cast on damage taken and increased duration. Make sure not to overlevel your Vol Molten Shell. If you don't have a Vol Molten Shell, regular Molten Shell is going to do. Use Molten Shell if you have over 10,000 armor. If you have less than 10,000 armor, use Steel Skin. For our movement, we want Leap Slam, Blood Magic, faster attacks. If you have space, link Culling Strike in there too so you can jump on top of bosses once they hit 10% to kill them instantly. We get Thirst for Blood from our axe, which is pretty good, gives us some extra healing and damage at the cost of 10% of our life reserved. Not a big deal. And then Reckoning for our counterattacks. We block a lot, might as well gain some extra life and deal a little extra damage when we do so. Auras and Curses, you got to self-cast Vulnerability until you get a ring that can do it for you. Then your auras are going to be Flesh and Stone, linked to Maim for that extra damage. You can pretty much stay in Blood stance all the time if you're not running Challenger charges. And of course, Pride for the massive increased physical damage. Lacerate doesn't really come online until you have 4 links or so. So in the meantime, you're going to level up with Frost Blades. Frost Blades linked to Ancestral Call and Onslaughts is going to be for your clear. It should only take 1 or 2 Frost Blades per pack to clear it. For a single target early on, you're going to use Double Strike, linked to Ruthless, and Chance to Bleed. Your only aura early on is going to be War Banner for the extra accuracy. Once you have a boss down to half or a third HP, you can pop your War Banner for Adrenaline, and the boss will die pretty quick after that. Ancestral Protector for a little extra damage and attack speed, and then of course your movement is either going to be Dash or Leap Slam linked to faster attacks. Gear is pretty simple. You can actually afford to go with a lot of uniques in this build if you build the tree like I do, because it gives you so much extra resistances. Body armor, any 6 links going to do, really doesn't matter. Jack the Axe is a good unique early on. Otherwise, any one-handed axe with at least 300 DPS and a reasonably high attack speed will do. Siege axe bases are probably the best. Shields, of course, the Surrender is your premium shield, but that's going to cost you probably at least 3x. So early on, you can get Lionized Remorse, pick up a cheap one, day 1 for 5C, not too bad. Boots, Calm's Roots, we don't want to be slowed, we don't want to be stunned, we don't want to be knocked back, and gives us a bunch of life. We don't really need the sockets anyway. Rest of your gear is just looking for max life, chaos resistance, and physical damage to attacks. And if you still need some elemental resistance, then pick that up too. Not going to be hard to get to the cap if you build the tree like I do. If you go to the notes here, you're going to find trade links. You can copy and paste these into your browser, and it'll give you a good starting point for when you are trading for items. All right, that's it. That's the build. I'm going to be streaming it on Twitch for the first week or so, link in the description, and I hope this was helpful.